Good morning, Sir D. Good morning, Mushy. Nice to see you here. Good morning. Good morning, Nerdy. Good morning. It's going to be fun to see Derek co-hosting at 9:30 today. So hang in there. This is going to be a good day. We have a surprise for you too. It's actually coming from Derek. Derek doesn't even know it, but he has a surprise for you this morning. Good morning, Miss Divine. Good morning. Good morning, Justin. Justin, I received your package. I received your package. It is nice. Thank you. We're going to be giving those away. Good morning, everybody. So today, we're going to have a little bit of fun this morning. And then we have a guest host at 9:30. Good morning, Marmars. And who is Lost 67s? Is that somebody new, or is that a name that do you have a different username we know you by? Good morning. Okay, I'll keep the rock. That sounds good. Good morning, James C. The last name's too long for me, and I don't want to say it incorrectly. It's me, Mark. No, we're going to explain that, Mark. Cheeseburger. Cheeseburger. Okay, James Cheeseburger. Yeah, that makes sense. Good morning. Gotcha, Marky Z. Okay, we're going to give you a little explanation here this morning. I'm going to wait till a few more people are here. Okay? You'll notice, Mark, that a lot of people's names are coming in a little bit different. And we had our research agent look that up and figure it out. And not really, it's not our research agent, but Sanam. Sanam did the research, and she came up with what the heck is going on at YouTube. Okay, we're going to talk about that. And the good news is that it's actually fixable. Okay. Paige, we're going to give you a chance to fix that. Somewhat. Okay? So I'm just waiting till a few more people are here so we can inform everybody at the same time. All right? So Sanam did some research, and she came up with what the heck is going on around there. Okay. And it looks like there's even a solution. Okay, oops, excuse me. Yeah, it looks like we can get you back to a more recognizable form of your name if you choose to. That's right, today is Mushroom Day. Who knew there was a Mushroom Day? There's a day for everything. Good morning. Right about 9:30, we'll be seeing Derek Anderson co-host the show. Whoops, let me go grab something. Okay. There we go. So, what the heck is going on with this? See how Sanam's name is back? She still has the 417 after it, but Sanam is back. Okay? And yesterday her name wasn't up there as Sanum, it was up there with her real name. Notice Cyber is back. Now it's Cyber Jolie. Little did I know yesterday I was talking with Jolie, but she has gone in to YouTube and been able to correct her name. And then she added Cyber to the front of it. So they've proven to us that it can be done. Okay? Rodman, your name is the same. The only thing different is it has an @ in front of it, and you can't change that. So the @ in front of the Rodman is no big deal. Hurry says you can change it once every 6 months. I didn't even know there was a time frame on it. Okay. Okay, well, let me tell you what's going on. Okay, let's just get to it. All right? Let's get to it. Let's get with it. Good morning. So we're noticing that the usernames got changed as of yesterday morning when we turned this on. Okay? Paranoid goats. You're funny. So Sanum looked into it and sent to the IG chat group the explanation. So if you don't quite get what I'm saying here, you can go over to the IG chat, the group chat, which if you're not a member of, all you have to do is reach out to Niffer Mama and she can join you. But so the explanation is over there, but I'm going to read it here for those of you that either don't get IG or are not on the IG chat. Okay? So here's the explanation. All right? You guys ready? Give me 5 people that are ready for an explanation. Give me 5 people that are ready for an explanation. Well, what the heck is going on with our screen names? Okay, why are our screen names different? Okay, here it is. YouTube did not revert to screen names, but it rather introduced unique handles like @ and the username as a new unique identifier for channels, which is being rolled out across the platform. This change was made to prevent impersonation and fraud by making each channel's identity distinct from others, unlike other social media channel names, which can be identical across accounts. While handles are replacing channel names in some areas, like comments and live chat, the original channel names are not being eliminated completely. What does this mean? It means if you have up here, we'll use Paige as an example. And before we just saw the name Paige up there. Evidently, other people can use that same name, Paige. And they found people being frauded that way. So YouTube went back to, what is your original sign-in name on your YouTube account? And they'll always have an identifier of a number behind it, okay? That is the number, the name that they want to use, so your name can't be reused by other people and make up problems for you in terms of fraud and communication. So, Sanum did further research and she found, see, I'm going to just say yesterday her name was Sharon Murdoch. That's her name when she logs into her YouTube account. But we know her as Sanum here. So that's correct, Derek. It eliminates trolls and it eliminates people being able to use your name and account. Not your account, but to confuse us so we don't know who we're talking to. I kind of agree with Derek. It should have been that way all along. But here's the saving grace. If your name is on there in a way, for example, if you have your name up there and on here and you don't like it and you want to go back to your name, like Sanam did, she went in she explains how to do it. To change your YouTube username back to your screen name, you'll need to change your channel's handle in your YouTube app or on the desktop site. So you can change it back like she did. She changed it, not back, but she changed her username on YouTube to Sanam from Sharon Murdoch. The only thing is, they will always, if you do this, they'll always add a number behind it. So for example, she's now Sanam. She used to be just plain Sanam, and now she's Sanam with a number behind her. So no one else can be, what's your name there, Sanam? I've got to, hold on. Let me go back. She's Sanam 417. And she didn't choose the 417. YouTube said, oh, you're the 417th Sanam. More or less. I don't know that there's 417 of them. But they will also assign a number behind your name. Oh, she did pick it. Okay. But you have to have a number behind your name. So no one else could be Sanam 417. YouTube won't give new people a name with a number behind it. As she said, someone else already had Sanam. Believe it or not. So when she went to change her username back to Sanam, in order to get Sanam, she had to add 417 behind it. Okay? So, you can go there and you can change your name back. 417 is her birthday, and that's why she picked that. Okay. So to change your YouTube username back to a screen name, you'll need to change your channel's handle in either the YouTube app or on the desk site. On the YouTube mobile app, tap your profile picture in the top right corner. Tap View Channel. Tap the Edit Pencil icon next to your channel's name. Scroll down to the handle and tap Edit. Type in your desired handle, which is your screen name, and tap Save to confirm. Okay? So if anyone needs those instructions in writing, go over to the IG channel that we have, T Crew on IG, and the instructions are right there. Sanam sent them to us. Okay? I don't have a problem having a number after my name. I have a number after mine now. So no one else can be Pop Shrooms, I think 626 or something like that. But if you want, like for Mark Z, if you want your name to come up as Mark Z again, all you have to do is go in and change your handle to Mark Z on YouTube. Okay? Am I making sense? A little bit of sense, I hope? Give me 5 people. Oh, okay, that's what I gotta do. And then we'll know who we're speaking to. Okay? So if your name isn't coming up as the screen name that you want it to be here, you can go change it by changing your username on your YouTube account. All right. I hope that covers that. And if you don't change it and you want to keep what you have here, we're going to just have to remember who you are. Okay? And Paige, we'll remember Paige is Viva Vibes. If you don't choose to change it, totally understandable, but then we'll know, we'll get to know you with your new name. Okay? Thank you for paying attention to that. In about 15 minutes, we're going to be seeing Derek Anderson here live. But in the meantime, Justin, I'm going to show your gift to us tomorrow, to everybody, because I'm not going to really have enough time to cover it today. But we'll be showing your gift. What he sent in about 9 little fellas that he said, Pops, if you feel like giving these away, that would be wonderful. So he sent us some stuff, and my plan is, Kim, you're crazy. My plan is to put one of those in each package that I send out in the course of the next couple of weeks. Okay? I wanted to talk about 2 things before I get to Derek today. I was reading an article early this morning, and I'm thinking, what a shame. This is what our world's coming to. I'm sounding like an old man. Fuddy-duddy. There's a football coach in Ohio that just resigned. This guy's high school football team has been winning championships, and they're a championship level football program. And the coach has a remarkable string of successes. Last Friday's football game, a couple of his players received unsportsmanlike conduct penalties. I don't know what the nature of them were, but they received unsportsmanlike conduct penalties. So the coach determined that he was going to sit these players that received these penalties for the first half of the next game, which is his way of teaching that it's not acceptable to have unsportsmanlike penalties, not just a penalty you receive during the game, 15 yards, but young men, let's be better than that. The parents started complaining. People slashed his tires. They spray painted over a billboard in his town that's advertising his football team. They've sent life-threatening messages to his phone. This is how the parents of some of the team members have responded to this coaching moment. The coach said, I resign. The coach had to quit his job. He said, I can't afford to have my business and my family being threatened as a result of my policy of trying to coach my boys up to be better men. Well, good for you, sir. Good for you. I don't see one thing you did wrong. And what a shame that school lost an incredible leader. And he'd proven it on the field and in his overall record in the last few years. And he proved it in how he was trying to grow up young men. What a world. What a world. So I think like the assistant principal or the athletic director or somebody that's never coached football before is now taking over the program. There you go. We need more coaches and people like that. We need more people like that. And I just want to, I don't have his name in front of me, but I'm shouting him out. Good job, coach. Good job. What a shame. I read that and I was just astounded about where we're going as a society. If I was, well, I was about to say, if I was the parent of one of those boys, I'd make my boy sit the first half. But it's actually the parents that are out slashing the tires. Quick message here. I have a quick message here. Give peace a chance. Yeah. I'll tell you what, I'd hire that coach in a second. I'd hire that coach in a second. Not only is he a good football coach, but it sounds like he's a good human being. Okay. Harm reduction is officially going mainstream. In one state, at least. Ohio State University just launched a statewide program to teach first responders and healthcare workers how to handle psychedelic emergencies. When your EMT guy comes to show up because you're having a psychedelic emergency, they have a program now where teaching the EMT and the first responders how to handle people that are having psychedelic emergencies. It's the first state to do that. They funded a program, $400,000 to do it. It's called the PEACE program, which stands for Psychedelic Emergency Acute and Continuing Education. It has a lofty goal of reaching over 127,000 doctors and nurses and EMTs, cops, social workers, and the like. The program begins in January 2026. The numbers don't lie. More and more people are using psychedelics, which means the fraction of those who end up in ERs or dealing with first responders is also going up. Thing is, the standard protocols for opioids or meth don't apply. Someone having a challenging trip often just need a calm environment and reassurance. An intrusive medical intervention could actually make things worse. MAPS pioneered similar training for Denver first responders after the city decriminalized psilocybin in 2019. If Ohio State can make it work at the state level, who knows? Maybe someday we'll see this model replicated nationwide. The last thing anyone needs during a rough trip is to face off against a paramedic who learned everything they know about mushrooms from DARE. So some people freak out and they don't know what to do. They call the EMT, they call 911. First responders get there and the first responders don't know how to handle the freak out. Well, now we're teaching them. I think that's a wonderful program. I'm going to give Ohio State A round of applause. There was a crock. One more thing, and then we're going to get to Derek. We'll hit Derek. Okay? I think it's awesome they have that. We're getting it. They're starting to see it. They're starting to say more and more people are using psychedelics and believing in their efficacy. Quick story. There was a crew working on my street this week. Well, not just this week, but for the last couple of months, they've been changing the gas lines. And in some cases, they have to but they have to dig a trench in people's front yards and run a new gas line. And then they're doing a great job. They come in and they fill it back in with dirt. They seed over the dirt and they put straw in it. And within a few weeks, basically, because we have great weather here, the grass starts to grow again. Across the street, luckily my yard didn't need to be torn up. They were able to bore underneath, and we pretty non-invasive change of the gas line here. But yesterday, there were 3 gentlemen, and here these guys are big guys. You know, they don't usually hire small little fellows to do these jobs. They're big construction working guys, and they're wearing their orange vests, and you know they look pretty tough. They're pretty tough looking fellas. And there was a crew of 3 across the street yesterday, redirting and reseeding and strawing the neighbor's yard. And I looked out and I thought, it was the middle of the afternoon, sun was beating down on them, and I opened up the door, trying to be kind, and I just kind of yelled across, like, you guys are doing a great job. And they looked up, they were surprised that anybody even paid attention to them. And I said, hey, would you guys like a Coca-Cola? I had some extra Cokes in my refrigerator. Well, yeah. So I grabbed 3 Coca-Colas and I ran across the street and I gave them these Coca-Colas. And then I got to thinking, what if, and I ran home and I made up these little packages, 1/8 of a gram of ghosts, little package, 3 of them. And I ran back across the street. And I said, do you guys know anything about magic mushrooms? And the one guy, like, his eyes lit up. He goes, oh? And I go, yeah. I pull out the 3 packages. I go, here, 1, 2, 3. I go, if you don't use them, give them to somebody that you know. Don't take more than a gram at a time. And if you don't know anything about it, you can look it up, Google it, what to do. All 3 of them took their package and they stuck it in their pocket. I went back home and I look out my window to watch them. These guys started, you could see a change in their mood. Before that, they're grunging away, working. These guys, they got a hop in their step. 2 guys give each other a high five. They're smiling and all of a sudden, their whole day changed. They hadn't even touched their shroom yet. Okay? And maybe they don't. Maybe they give it to a friend of a friend of a, who knows? But the attitude shift, not that they were mad or anything, but you should have seen them light up. I was sitting there looking through the room. I'm like, oh, this feels so good. And it did. It was so darn cute. Big guys. Like, you don't know. Like, it was amazing. You could just see it in their body language. And I was like, I gotta tell my friends how fun that was. Anyways, I was Santa. I was Pop Santa. It felt so fun just to watch their mood change. You know, and they're like, oh, and they haven't even touched one yet. Wait till they have them. Here in Michigan, though, a lot of guys, I found out here, a lot of youngsters had in high school and that age group had experimented with mushrooms. So a lot of people here, even if they're not microdosing or they're not on some kind of a protocol, they really like we're well aware of what mushrooms are like here in this town. In this state. Okay? Yeah, I'd be surprised too, Queenie. I'm quite certain, at least the one guy, you could tell by the look on his face, he was like, mushrooms? It was the last thing on their mind. So, they got themselves a Coca-Cola and an eighth of Ghost. Wah, 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 wah. Yeah, Michigan, see, Aaron knows. Michigan folks, there's more people in Michigan that have done mushrooms than in California. I can tell you that from having lived in both states. Okay? So, let's get down to business. We're going to have Derek Anderson here. Derek, isn't that a great story though, you guys? A Halloween treat. Isn't that a great story? I didn't tell you that story to tell you how generous I am. I told you that story just to tell you how fun it is to see people change. And just tiny little acts of kindness make such a big difference for people. You know, and this one, who knows, like maybe they'll have a party this weekend, you know, or whatever. They'll do something. Okay? Alrighty. Derek Anderson, do me a favor and give me a phone call. You call me on IG. And we'll get you started. Okay? Go be kind, you guys. Find a random act of kindness. It doesn't have to be giving away mushrooms. It could have stopped at the Coca-Cola and it would have been fine. Okay? So, find a way to be kind. Something basic. All right, we're over here waiting for Derek's call. And then once we get Derek, I'm going to show you guys something. That's right, Marmars. Do your best, whatever that is. Oh, Joe, I feel a lot better. You guys can tell, right? Took me 4 days, though, to feel better. Is Derek calling me? There it is. There's Mr. D. God, you look good. Okay, here we go. Here we go.
I was kind of hoping the Waz was going to be here this morning so we could see the Bruins.
Oh, I'm sure Waz is going to be here. Look at Derek, you guys. You look great, D.
Thank you.
Okay, before you get started, I want to do something. Okay? And I'll tell you what. You don't even know about this. Give me a number, everybody out there. There's Waz, he sees it. Wazzy sees it. Give me a number, everyone out there. Give me a number between 1 and 50. Give me a number between 1 and 50. This is a surprise. Give me a number between 1 and 50. Oh, I see it. Captain Obvious. Captain Obvious, I just sent you something, so I'm going to get somebody else. I just sent you something. Okay, if you don't mind. Go look at Captain Obvious's numbers. One of those numbers was correct. Okay? Go quick. Oh, she said send it to Jolie. Okay, I'll do that. Well, no. I don't think Jolie's... No. I don't think Jolie... Jolie, I'll send her something anyways. Okay? But go look at the number. Okay? Jolie, you're going to get something. All right? And then somebody else. Go look at her numbers. And give me one of those numbers that she has. Come on now. There's only 3 of them. Come on. Come on, you're wasting Derek's time. Give me one of those numbers. How come I'm not getting it? Everybody's saying 41. The first person to say 43. Give me the first person to say 43. Who's the first person to say 43? Give me a 43. Rodmond is the first 43 on my screen. Check this out. Hold on, Mr. D. Yesterday, I received a box in the mail from Sir D, Derek Anderson. Derek, you look so good there. Hold on. A box in the mail. He sent me a smartwatch. He said, Pops, you could give this away if you're not going to use it. No, I'm keeping it. I'm keeping the smartwatch. But look what else he sent. You're not going to believe it. From here to here, packages, 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 packages. They're all sealed. And I'm like, what the heck is in those? Well, if you guys know the black package, there must be 100 of them in there. Okay? There must be 100 in there.
I didn't count.
He didn't count. We'll get back to you in a second, okay? Okay. I had to open it up. This is one of those packages that you can't smell what's inside the package. Weed indeed. Okay. So, Rodman. Let's get back to Rodman. Are you smoking it? Rodman, are you? Not everybody smokes weed anymore. It's all full of flour. I mean, I can't even tell you how many packages are here. We need to be giving these away to you guys. Okay? It's a lifetime supply. Rodman, Rodman doesn't puff. Rodman, give yours away to somebody. Rodman, give yours away to somebody. Mike Barabal said he wanted it. You want me to give it to Rodman, you want me to give it to Mike Barabal? Should this go to Mikey? Okay. Rodman says yes. Good enough. Mike Barabal, you send us your information here, and Derek, through me, will send that package to you. Okay? He says, okay. Good job, Derek. Derek, I want you somewhere during your day today here, with the time I've left you, give 2 more of these away. I'll ship out 3 today. So you'll decide who else gets, let me turn this thing off. You'll decide who gets 2 more. Okay? Thank you, Derek. Good morning.
Good morning. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you great. You look great too. Oh, one more thing I wanted to add in. On the, I love the name on your return address. His return address, you guys, is Michael Ministries. It's beautiful. Michael Ministries is sending this out. The floor is yours, Derek.
I didn't give that for a shameless plug or anything like that. It was just I quit. I caught a sale and then I quit, and that's Farm Bill legal THCA. I mean, there's a difference. I don't know anybody that's really buying the weed, unless people can grow it, because the price has gone down so much that it doesn't make sense to buy the other stuff.
Yeah, no, I didn't. I think it was just pure timing. You had no idea you were going to be on here before you had even sent that package. So,
well, I mean, I sent you a note. I don't know if you had seen it, but I asked to, I didn't want recognition of, just remain anonymous with it. But my idea was maybe, people would give, what they might spend on that. Maybe they would give to a cause, maybe to Toys for Tots, or give a homeless person $5, something like that, to ripple.
Now that you mention it, I did see that note. I'm sorry, it totally slipped my mind. You did. You were saying, if somebody wanted to drop a 5 spot to Boys and Girls Club or Toys for Tots, or like you said, to
whatever
give
they're
to
passionate about, or even if they go to church, throw in an extra few bucks if they tithe or something like that. Whatever makes them feel good in their giving spirit.
Okay. So you guys heard it. You want a package? Think about it when you get it. That you might want to drop a 5 spot or maybe even a little more somewhere. You're probably looking at a $40 bag here. These are probably, I don't know. I'm looking at it. If I had to go to my dispensary, that'd probably cost about $40. So
it's lobster butter THCA. The variety of the strain. It's lobster butter THCA. It's not real strong. It's a mellow. It's something I enjoy before going to bed. It would help me sleep.
Right. So you don't smoke anymore?
Then I quit smoking. So now, if I can't sleep, I have to take a Benadryl.
Okay.
Or Tylenol PM, and that's the same thing. It has Benadryl. That's the PM part of that Tylenol. Is the Benadryl that helps you sleep. It's the same ingredient, and the stuff really isn't good for you. It causes memory loss. Tylenol destroys empathy.
I didn't know that.
Tylenol for a long time, but a lot of people didn't know that Tylenol destroys empathy.
I didn't know that. Yeah. I mean, Tylenol sure is getting a bad rap lately in general. I mean,
it's been in the news a lot lately. Yeah, with the political and everything.
Yeah, the pregnant ladies. I mean, they really haven't proven that study completely, but they sure are putting that out there to the link to autism. I've read a few things, and there isn't really a lot of evidence to prove it, but it's enough to, if you can avoid it, especially as a pregnant lady.
It's been about 15 years ago now. Tylenol themselves put out a thing saying, if you're pregnant, you shouldn't, consult the doctor first. But I mean, that's pretty much all products. If you're pregnant, you should be speaking to your doctor what you're taking and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But, well, speaking of politics, if you're not happy with what's going on in your area, you can go out there and you can protest and dance in the streets and say we're being peaceful. I don't think that's really accomplishing what you want it to. It might make you feel good and you're hanging out with friends and you're being active, but you can also go online and say your local county board of elections. You can look on there and you can see upcoming elections.
Okay.
You could say I don't like that what this person is doing in their position. You could run, or you might know someone else that is running, and then support that. If you want to see the change, you could be the change. A lot of judges, they're not even lawyers; they're just elected. Just because they had a good campaign. So
that's absolutely outstanding. Yeah, no,
I think that's more active than. I mean, if you're out there, you're blocking traffic. I really don't care what your message is. You're frustrating me. I want to get to where I'm going. I don't think people side with you when you inconvenience them and stuff like that. Some people think, well, that's how change happens. I think change happens in the election, stuff like that.
Boy, that's
Because
outstanding, what you're saying.
you're gonna anger people, they're gonna dig their heels in, and they're gonna say, F your cause, I'm against you. Even if they weren't in the beginning, So that's a very good option. I think, every county, you can look online at your Board of Elections and see there's some elections coming up this December. I really haven't had interest in politics until recently. And,
Right.
if you want to see the change, you can be the change.
And a letter means a whole lot. A congressman receiving one letter thinks it represents 1,000 votes. So, even if you don't do anything other than write a letter as to what your opinion is on an issue, I know they take those more to heart than the people stampeding in the street. So just a letter, if you're not feeling like, being a politician. Who doesn't have time to write a letter? Especially just push an AI button and let it write it for you.
Right, you can write just a few words, give the idea, then hit that AA button. It's going to make a nice little paragraph for you or story, whatever you'd like.
What a great idea. Thank you for bringing that up. Let me tell you what people think about that. Headbuster, well said. Cyber Jolie, be the change. Headbuster, nothing changes unless we do. Nick Charles, totally agree. Let's see. Herbie says, I have too many skeletons to get into politics. They'll unmask him. Rodman, there's nothing more personal than a letter. Lynette, it all starts local. Kimberly, ripple change. So
yes,
that's outstanding, Derek. Good job.
Thank you.
Give away a package. How are you going to do it? Do you want me to do another number for you?
Do a number, please. Yeah.
Okay. You guys, give me a number between 1 and 10. 1 and 10. Go. Give me a number between 1 and 10. Derek's giving away only if you're smoking. Only if you're going to smoke it. If you're not going to smoke it, don't come and ask for it. Okay? Mush Love Music. Mush Love Music, the answer was 5. The answer was 5. So Mush Love Music. That's probably, we probably know him on it by a different name. But Mush Love Music, please send me your address and we'll send you a Derek package. Okay? Mush Love. Go ahead, Derek.
Before October 1st of this year, since the Farm Bill passed and they included the hemp, my grandson could go into the store and buy THCA. He could buy joints. The only thing stopping him was responsible store owners. But as far as like the language, the way it was written, there was no age limit. Now it just kicked in October 1st of this year. You have to be 21. But sometimes, you see things like that and you think, who's making these laws? Who's making these rules? What thought? We don't have dispensaries here. They have weed on the countertops of the gas stations, the stores. And I don't think that's right. I'd rather see a dispensary and have it, controlled like alcohol or, other states that have responsible programs and not left up to store owners. I don't think it's great for kids. I've been smoking since I was a little kid.
Yeah, me too.
That wasn't my choice. That was my dad. I was an out of control kid. It wasn't Adderall. It was weed. He smoked with me, and so I think it can cause a lot of issues for a child.
You're in North Carolina, right?
Yeah.
So they're literally is North Carolina legal?
It's not. Well, THCA is federally legal, but the other weed isn't.
Okay.
So they sell this THCA everywhere. And you can buy it online everywhere. And a lot of it's grown here in the Carolinas. There's a farm right down the road from me that grows.
Okay.
I started the process of getting my grow license, but I'm not in a position to do that right now with the changes that are going on. Them changing it to intoxicating hemp and stuff like that, you know, you might put out a big greenhouse and everything and start growing plants, and then the law changes and you got to cut everything. So I think, well, even a lot of the cannabis stocks since November, since, you know, the election when Trump come in, a lot of the cannabis stocks have gone down 60%, but they're doing good since April. So
here in Michigan,
you know,
they just added. The governor just signed the deal. 25% more taxes on the weed they sell at the dispensaries. So it's just the price on weed skyrocketed here in Michigan.
in states that aren't on a board like that, they don't get the tax. They get 7%. They just get 7% on this, just like I guess I don't know.
Sales
beer.
tax.
I think beer is just a regular tax versus, you know, them getting a large amount of tax at a dispensary having a program.
Right.
So I mean that's a big miss. So you look and you see all these misses and like these things that just really don't make sense. They're not, you know, completely thought through. They're just, oh, weed's bad, and they're still going on that old propaganda.
Yeah.
You know, I think if they use the same reasoning today of making weed illegal, you know, everybody would be disgusted how racist it is. You know, like, let's call it marijuana because it sounds Mexican. Marijuana Mexican, that's bad. You know what I mean? And that's some of the language they use to that old I can't remember the movie. You guys know what I'm talking about. That old propaganda film with, you know,
the weed killer. The what's it? Is that which one are you talking about? Help us out there. Reefer Madness.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sanum just reminded us, and a few other people. Reefer Madness. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody here knows it. Everyone's calling. It's Reefer Madness.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, but really, if you looked at that movie today, if that was released today, and the language that they use to make it sound bad, and you know, but there's so much evidence that it shows that there's beneficial. I'm not saying it's good, but there's a lot of stuff saying, yeah, it's pretty good. Just like mushrooms, they're demonized, you know, and that was in the 60s, 50s that really they took a strong stance against them, you know, and it's taken so long to recover since. I believe if they did more research over the years, instead of just saying, no, that's banned, we're not going to do it, we could have, you know, different parts like isolated. And if you have a headache, well, then you just take this THC, whatever, you know, pill or capsule or tea.
Right.
You know, it could be so much further.
We can actually trace it back to, thanks a lot, Nancy Reagan. You know, her whole, do you remember the commercials where they were cracking an egg in a pan and saying, this is your brain on drugs? You know, and they were talking about pot, you know, with heroin, of course, we're not going in, or, you know, the opioid abuse, of course, stay the hell away from that. Meth, ruining lives, but come on.
It certainly is. I had a doctor giving me 180 pain pills a month, 180 hydros a month. And then he's like, Derek, your liver enzymes. Well, no shit, doc. Look what you know, you give me 180 pills a month, I'm going to take them.
Yeah.
You know, and talk about addictive. Like, I would wake up 4 in the morning, 3 in the morning or whatever. And I would have to take a pill just to get back to sleep. And, you know, luckily I had enough and it spread out through it lasted. You know, I wasn't having to go and find any or anything like that. But, you know, I had enough of me and it lasted. But then I had a procedure on my back and it fixed it. And then I didn't have the same pain, so I switched to weed, you know, because the farm bill was good and everything. So I switched to that. And then my doctor's like, your liver's doing a lot better, you know, and your numbers are looking better. So for me, like, I have proof, I guess you would say.
Laura Devine
You know,
says, yeah.
Now,
Laura says, yeah, I've been there. Pills are the devil. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, it was awful. You know, you couldn't like go away for the weekend without taking your pills with you. I mean, I could go away or go whatever. Like, I've gone, I don't know how many days now without weed, and weed is great to mask some problems, and I think that's what a lot of people use it for. But once you stop, those problems are coming back.
Yeah.
You still got to deal with that.
Yeah, I personally quit June. I think like right at the very beginning of June, just because old man lungs. Just I feel it like you wouldn't believe, and
But imagine though, if they didn't demonize it and they did the research, you wouldn't have, or I wouldn't have either. Coughing up the crap and the old man lungs. You would have different pills that would be healthy. Plant medicine. But Big Pharma isn't getting on board with something that people can grow in their tents in their backyard, and then and that's understandable because there's no money in it for them. But
making some great points here this morning. Let me read a couple of comments to you if you don't mind. Anthony Hunt. Anthony, that's tough. I've been trying to quit Suboxone. It's really hard. Laura says that she hasn't been taking any kind of pills for years now. She's able to get since 2016. Sammy P says forget opioids. Kim agrees. Even still, more cannabis research is needed. Headbuster, natural medicine will make a comeback. You're getting a lot of beautiful comments, well deserved too. You're just keep up what you're saying. Let me get back to you.
I'd like to talk about, you give out packages. Now, how many people have gotten packages in the mail that wasn't theirs, or, there was the wrong address, wrong house? I have. And then I think it really determines or shows your character. What do you do with that package? Do you put it back in the mailbox and say, this isn't mine, or do you say, lucky me, I win. I had some packages delivered here that were from Temu.
Okay.
I did not, it seemed like a made up name, but it had my address. I don't know what was in them. I gave them right back to the mail lady, and she's like, you don't want them? I mean, she almost questioned like, well, you could keep them, And I was like, no, because I don't want that negativity. I don't know what that package is going to bring later.
Yeah.
It could be, I might think, oh, it's a blessing. Lucky me. Yeah, no.
I think those Temus and even Amazon on occasion is sending packages to people for them to review. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like
there's a lot of scams out there like that, but I've gotten packages that were addressed to my neighbors, or houses nearby, and those go back to the mailbox because I don't want any energy that's gonna come with it.
Yeah, I actually walk them down and put them on their porch and walk away if I receive an accidental package like delivered to the wrong address, but it's somebody else's address. It's how hard is it to walk 2 doors down and just put it on the correct porch?
To walk 2 doors down that way is like a little over a quarter of a mile. So
I forgot you live in you're on some acreage there.
There's farms all around me and stuff, and I'm right on the state line, North Carolina and South Carolina. And by car, I'm 15 minutes from a lot of things. An hour between like 3 airports, which is really nice. If you're into that sort of thing, and I like going outside at night. I have a Flight Tracker 24. It's it's actually just a website. I pull that up on my phone, and I can look, and I can say, that's an Airbus, that's this, that's that. The different planes that are flying over show you their speeds and altitudes and stuff like that. I'm a dork with stuff like that in astrology.
That's neat.
It's neat, though, to see a little plane, and you can look on your phone and say, oh, yeah, they left the regional airport down the road, and they're just out doing a little night cruise.
So there's actually an app for that?
Oh, no, it's just a website you go on. It's Flight Tracker 24, if I'm not mistaken. It's on this phone that I'm using right now, so I can't show you, but I could show you on IG later. It is really neat. And you can go over and you can zoom on the regional or Charlotte Airport, we'll say, or Asheville or whatever, and see all the different flights there, where they're coming and going from and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's neat. Honestly, I've always been, even in my time in the service, I wasn't in the infantry. I was in the air wing. So I've been around, and then got a private pilot's license later on. That's lapsed. I haven't flown in years,
Yeah.
but it was something that I had to do. So I had a private pilot's license for over 10 years. Just flew little Cessnas. Um, yeah.
But like, I guess the point I was making with the package is like, if your first thought to keep something that doesn't belong to you, then that's really not good energy, and I don't think it would bring anything good.
No, I don't
You know?
either. I agree with you. I've been lucky on my shipping. I've recently looked at, there's a statistic page where I can keep track of how many packages I've sent out, what states I go to. There's only 2 states in the union that haven't received a pop package to this date, and one is Vermont, and the other one is Alaska. I've never sent anything to anybody in Alaska, but I'm surprised nobody in Vermont has ever received a package from me. But there's a little area that they say this is the amount of packages that we had a problem with or misdelivered on your account, right? Out of over 6,000 packages that I've sent in the last 4 years, 4 have had a problem. Can you imagine that number?
That
So,
is very excellent.
yeah, I can't even imagine what an amazing number that is, and I think that's living good. I think the postal energy must already know what's going on in that package because they end up in the right spot. It's just been amazing. 4 out of
Yeah.
over 6,000 packages.
I
Yeah.
hate to say it, I wonder out of that 4, no, if it could have just been the universe, or like I was saying, the energy that person has that's receiving the package. And that's a person that could really use the package.
Somebody's
It's the people
asking
that,
what were the problems. In one case, I know it for a fact, uh, and it was really dumb. The package said that it was visible damage, which means somehow or another the box got uh, cracked open or something like that, right? It says right on your tracking that you would, if you were waiting for a package from me, it says visible damage, right? The person that I was sending it to literally went down to the post office and asked for the package. And I was like, yeah, I don't think that was the right thing to do. You know, you're, who knows? There may be a postal inspector sitting there waiting for somebody to come in and go, how come you're picking up a package that has a bunch of mushrooms in it? What kind of mushrooms are these, etc.? You know, I don't have a lot of fear in terms of an open package because I don't label any of the what's inside. And it would be hard for them to make the automatic jump that, oh, this must be a psilocybin mushroom. For all they know, it's an edible. And for a while there, I was even sending out soup recipes, mushroom soup recipes, along with the package, in case that happened. But I've actually even stopped doing that. So just knock on wood, so far we've been able to avoid uh, any issues with the packages that we've sent out. And I think that speaks to what you're saying. I think it's probably something to do with energy.
yeah, I'm a big believer in that. Like, I mean, if a Brinks truck ever breaks down or drops a bag of money in the front of my house, I'm going to have that moral dilemma. But
Yeah.
as far as like personal, property stuff like that,
I kind of agree with you.
that problem. But
I kind of agree with you. It'd be hard to bring back a bag of money. Some people
because
do it.
you're thinking, okay, this is insured and it's not someone's directly, and you know what I mean. So,
Yeah, yeah, no, I agree with you. That's a really good point. Yeah.
I have an idea for a giveaway. I'll be back in 1 second.
Okay. Hey, you guys, isn't not Derek doing a great job? Oh, look at his little office area there. He's so adorable. And he's such a kind, good man. Yeah. He's just something special.
You see these?
Okay.
Can someone guess what kind of mushrooms these are?
Okay. Guess what kind of mushrooms those are, you guys? Guess what kind of mushrooms? All right. We're waiting for a couple of guesses here, Derek. Enoki. No. Lion's mane, no. Peanuts, no. Stringy PP, no. Honey mushrooms. No clue. Cordyceps. Campanensis. B plus. McKenna. Golden teacher. Cordyceps. We're not. What's that?
Chestnuts.
Say it one more time.
Chestnut?
Just chestnut.
Chestnut.
That's what that is?
Yeah.
Chestnut. Okay.
They grow along the side of the bag. You know, just like the other mushrooms, they'll grow if you don't have darkness around it. So these grew up the side of the bag. They don't look like chestnut. You can see they're flat on the side. You know, chestnuts, you think normally little fat stem, nice cap, nice brown cap. But if you get those on the sides of the bag, that's what they're going to look like.
Now, is chestnut? I'm not familiar with chestnut. Is that a psilocybe? Psilocybe?
No, it's not. It's not. It's just a really good.
It's
good
an edible.
Salads and cooking and.
Okay,
Yeah.
and you were growing those?
Yeah.
Okay. And then what do? You cook with them?
You cook with them. You can put them in salads or in soups or put them on steaks and stuff like that. I love those. I love oysters, different varieties of oysters, snow oysters, golden oyster. The snow oyster, if you bread and deep fry those, for people that are like, not into meat or taking a break from meat or vegetarian or something like that, they have a really meaty taste. They really do. So, I don't think nothing replaces an awesome steak, but
Yeah.
the oyster mushrooms are really tasty, and I think they're slept on by a lot of people, and they're healthy. A lot of mushrooms, they've been used in Chinese medicine for thousands of years. They wouldn't be doing it and wouldn't be living as long as they do if they were bad, So there's a lot of great things about them, but
The winning guess was Kimberly. Kim won the guess.
Surprised me. Kim is very, very smart.
Okay. Kim, let me ask you a question. Do you want those chestnuts or would you like a package from Pops? You let us know. I can also send you in a package from Pops. You'll get some Ghost and you'll get one of the black bags. So let me know, Kimmy. And if you want the chestnut, we'll figure out how to get you the chestnut.
Oh, Pops, I was really showing these though as like when you were saying, nobody knows what kind of mushrooms are in your package. Imagine what these would look like if they were tried and put in a package. They're gonna look similar.
Yeah.
There's gonna be no bluing. There's no bluing, obviously, but they're gonna look similar. So,
that's exactly my point.
They would have to test the mushrooms and have a suspicion or something like that, some kind of probable cause. They can't just violate your Fourth Amendment and stuff.
Yeah.
They would have to test, I think. So, but, these would look very similar to what you have.
No, it's a very good point. And that's one of the reasons, people are like, well, if I send them a strain, they forget what strain it is. Well, how come you didn't write the name of the strain on the bag? I don't do that. No labels, nothing. If you need to be reminded what I sent you, just send me an email and I'll tell you what it is. But I'm not writing anything in writing. And the other thing is, early on, it's 4 years ago, my ego was still involved. Like I paid somebody $125 to make up this great logo for me, right? And it was like, and then and stickers. And then I'd slap a sticker on the bag. And I'm like, how stupid was that? You know, all you got to do is I've said it like this 100 times, have that empty package sitting on the floorboard of a car of a teenager that gets in an accident. And who do you think they're going to be blaming? The guy whose name is on the bag. So I stopped stickers, I stopped logos, I don't even do a marks a lot, nothing. So people know what I'm sending them, and if they forget, just ask.
Yeah.
What else you got for us? We got about 3 or 4 minutes left, Mr. D.
I think this is not a lot of time to talk about it, but like some people, they're lonely or they're alone because maybe they've been cheated on. I've been cheated on. You know, I caught my wife cheating on me, and you know, I think there's people that are kind and there's people that are kind of assholes, and I think that's a good balance. Be kind of an asshole, because like people that sympathize with me, oh, you poor thing, you know, she cheated on you, and you know, I don't see that as being kind. But when I called my father and I told him, like, Dad, I need a divorce, I need money for a divorce, you know, I'm crying to him, and he's like, shut up, man. You know, it happened. Like, I was taking it personal, and like he already read the 4 agreements back then, you know, and he's like, shut up. You want to talk to me about stuff? We'll talk about stuff. You want to cry about it? Go call your mother. You know, that shit happens. You got to get past it. You know, and at the time, like, what an asshole. What an asshole. And then, you know, my mother's like, she did that to you. And, you know, and she's siding with that part. But, you know, as soon as I was like, you know, thinking about it, before leading up to this, there was something in me that wanted to scream at her, I want a divorce. And something just kept saying, shut up, Derek, shut up, right? And then I find her cheating on me. It shouldn't have been a surprise. I shouldn't have taken it like that because, like I said, I wanted a divorce. And I don't know if it was part of, you know, me wanting to win or something like that, you know, like, well, I want a divorce. You know, I did it first. I don't know if it was that. But, you know, after like, listen to my father, just like, no, shut up. That happens, you know, get past it. You know, do what's right for you and the kids. Don't worry about what she's doing, you know.
That's a tough one. That's a tough one because, you know, our emotions are definitely going to jump in there. But
it certainly is. But now I look back from that and I'm like, okay, so yeah, I got past it. And before long, I was dating a lot of women, you know, and different women, and had things like I didn't have before. Like I had women giving me money, not like I was a pimp or anything, but you know, like they just shared, and it was just different. And to go from thinking I want that back to, you know what I mean, to what I have is just, you know, no, I think maybe I wanted to be comfortable in misery or something, you know, because we wasn't happy.
Right.
And, you know, but everybody told me, don't let her back in the house. Don't let her back in the house.
Yeah. We got some comments on that, especially coming from Kim saying, Derek, you never have to be a doormat.
Right. You have some self-respect. If someone's going to cheat on you, well, they're going to do it again. They're not going to change their stripes. So if you have, that's something my father was telling me. He's like, have some dignity, have some self-respect, man. You deserve better than that.
Yeah.
You know, and that was like, I was taking it as like, he's kind of an asshole. You know, and I thought the people that were being kind were like, oh, you poor thing, I can't believe she did that. You know, and that'll get you nowhere. That'll keep you thinking in it. But, you know, if you change your thinking, I deserve better, you're going to get better.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, there are occasions where relationships heal from cheating, but they're less than, than the ones that continue to stay broken. And
Right.
I don't believe once a cheater, always a cheater. I believe people can make a mistake, but I also understand that cheating isn't you slipped on a banana peel and accidentally your penis actually ended up in a vagina. It doesn't work like that. It takes work. That you're
Yeah.
planning behind the scenes. It takes more work to have an affair than if you were just straight up in front and said, you know what, I'm not happy. I mean, because you've got to sneak off and do phone calls. You've got to make emails and then delete them. You have to. Anyone when you're cheating, it takes a lot of work. And
You know what helps you stay impeccable. Like a lot of people, they don't have accountability for. Like when I was living alone, I would let things slide and maybe not clean up. But I got camera. You guys see the Truman Show?
yeah,
I got cameras all over my house, except for the bathroom. And there's other people that can watch these cameras, and I'll get a text like the dog just pooped on the kitchen floor, stuff like that. But I feel comfortable with that. A lot of people couldn't handle that. But then I have to ask you, what are you doing that you wouldn't feel comfortable other people seeing? And I don't think everybody should see or everything you do or know your thoughts or anything like that. But for me, I don't ever see myself doing anything wrong. I take a puff here and took a puff here and there, but it wasn't. It helps me stay accountable or more on track, because if I don't have the camera, I might not make my bed. I might not, put the laundry away. Hey, that laundry has been in that basket for 3 days.
yeah.
Stuff like that. So I mean, not everybody needs that, but I do, and I enjoy it. And it's like, yeah. I guess, yeah, it's like living on the Truman Show, or but if you're not going to be, and I have a sign in near my front door that says "Smile, you're on camera."
Okay.
And that's for people to know that that's in the whole house. And if we're going to be discussing something, yeah, I can turn them off, but then I'm going to have to explain why I turned them off, and then let's have a good conversation and not something gross. You know what I mean? And if you don't want other people hearing it, then maybe I shouldn't hear it.
The camera thing is actually very protective. I had one incident where it was back in the day, 3 or 4 years ago, when I was inviting people over to my laboratory, and I was giving them instruction on how to grow mushrooms one-on-one. But I filmed everything. I had a camera going in the lab that filmed my whole interaction with these people. And one person, a girl, went back to wherever she came from and gave an accusation that Pops was inappropriate and blah, 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 which I have to tell you, if anybody that knows me or has experience with me, I'm so sensitive to it. It's not, it comes even back from pastor training. Anyways, I had the video evidence, and I was like,
Right.
if you want to make this accusation, you're going to be talking to a lawyer, and I'm going to be suing you. I think you need to retract these things that you've said about me, because I actually have the video, and I sent her a copy of this was what our interaction actually was. And
Right.
sure enough, I mean, I never got an apology or anything, but the person went away, and it was just like, thank goodness I had it on tape.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, because then it would just be your word versus theirs. But cameras, they don't lie, and they record the conversation, they record everything. So it's it helps you stay on track, and maybe there's people that suffer with things that they shouldn't be doing, or you know what I mean. And then there's all different kinds of addictions, whether it's things they watch that they shouldn't, or stuff like that, or just maybe laziness, and they need someone else to help them and to motivate them, and to have someone else on your team. I think it's just about having more people on your team. And like you're saying, someone can't come in and say you was doing thus and so when you have cameras that prove no, you weren't.
Yeah.
No, you weren't. You're a liar. I can prove you're a liar because that did not happen.
Right.
I can prove what we talked about or whatever.
Not only that, but you have an actionable cause now. I mean, I literally have video evidence of an actionable cause. And, you know, if you want to pay the lawyer fees and everything else, those people you can put somebody down big time. You can be taking money from them for doing those kind of, you know, making incorrect uh, accusations of you. You know,
Yeah.
that's
It's slanderous. Yeah.
it's
Absolutely.
slander. Yeah.
Hmm.
So I appreciate that's true. We always need to be watching out, because there's a 5% element out there at all times, and not everybody's
Not
got
everybody's
as
on the same path.
yeah.
You know,
Nobody.
not everybody's on the same path. Like we were talking about packages earlier. There's people that'll, you know, see something that doesn't belong to them and think, "Oh, lucky me," you know, and then you call them out on it, and then you just don't associate with people like that. I like to say I don't know people like that. You know, I know people that give. I know people that have a generous spirit. You know, I know kind people.
Well, those are the people we choose to hang out with, right?
Right. You're right.
Yeah, and the other people, once we even sniff them, then they're avoided.
Yeah, I mean, they just stuck in stinking thinking and, you know, ill-gotten gains and shit like that. It just, yeah, you know, no thank you.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to ask people to give. We're up against the clock, Derek. I could go on with for another hour with you right now. I really could. Um, boy, you know how much I love you. I've been in love with
I
you
love
for
everybody.
years.
See, it is so uplifting every morning. And, you know, I know we're not supposed to have no expectations, but, you know, we all get on YouTube every morning and we have an expectation that, you know, you're going to be there and we're all going to learn kindness. We're all going to grow and stuff like that. It's because of you and it's because of YouTube. Thank you, Pops.
Oh, thank you. And again, I mean, we've had a beautiful relationship for, I'd say, over 3 years now. And you've always been so generous to me, both in encouragement and even the random packages, and then being a monitor on our channel, and being, you know, fighting Bill D to get in the door first every morning. And you're just one hell of a good human being. And if I could be near you right now, I'd hug you hard. Now I'm going to read some comments to you. Okay? Captain Obvious, thank you, Derek. Lucky Lures, thanks. Anthony Hunt, great job, Derek. Aaron, good show. Oreo, thanks, D. Michael Patterson, comfortable conversation, thanks, D. Pacers, thank you, great chat. Mr. Marmars, you're the best. Headbuster, thank you, Derek, for always inspiring me to do and be better. Mike Barabal, thank you, Derek. Mush Love Music, thank you, Derek. Justin LaFlower, who's next week? We'll figure that out tomorrow, Just. Jimmy Max, love you. Trent, thank you, Derek and Pops. EMT, amazing chat. Green Tables, love you, Derek. Joe D's, thanks for co-hosting, D. Cleany, thank you, Derek. Justin D, you're the man. EMT, amazing chat. Kimberly, if you want to give a guest lecture to her class, you're welcome. You're welcome to. That's cute. Mr. Marmars and Sandy and Corey D. Thanks, Derek. Wazzy, Big Hearts and Derek Anderson. Paige, Derek is always awesome and welcoming. Great show. Emily, Derek is my brother. He always helps me through the dark times. Yes, you do. Like you said the other day, you're a cheerful encourager. That's an amazing strength that you have. Just looking at you gives me like good feelings. You've got that glow, my friend. So thank you for being here. Thanks for your time. Thanks for this beautiful box full of love that we're going to be able to share with people over the course of the next month or so. And I just want to give you a big fat hug, my friend.
I'm hugging you back. Thank you, everyone. It was really my pleasure, and I love spending time with all of everyone there. And I don't think anyone could say I have a favorite. I hope not. You know, but I don't think anyone could say this.
You mean Pops isn't your favorite? No, I'm kidding.
My favorite host, okay. But in the I would hope no one would say like, oh, he likes that person, not that person. I think I try to like everyone evenly. Well, love everyone evenly. And not that that's any kind of requirement, but it's just I would rather not feel someone takes something personally, or I didn't say hi to him or anything like that.
No,
This new format, I've missed so many, I know, and I apologize, but that's not anything to take personal. It's really,
Yeah. No. You are an example. I don't do biblical scriptures very often, but there's a Bible scripture. It says, "Be no respecter of persons," and that doesn't mean, when you look up the word respect, it doesn't mean don't respect people. It means don't love someone more than another, and love everybody equally. And I work with that too. I work with that concept. I try to love everybody equally. And then there's people that I love equally, just a little bit more.
Happy belated birthday to your father.
Oh, thank you.
Last night.
Yeah, thank you. Good old Eves. Tough old Frenchman, but and he was tough as nails. But I've forgiven him for everything, and he's given me so much. And he's a lot of it is. Being as tough as he was made me more of the man I am today. Yeah.
I think it was 1400. He was a saint. Saint Eves. For Corman, I think is the name. Saint Ives Corman. In the 1400s, and he was a saint of the poor and of giving. So maybe that spirit is gone down,
Yeah, maybe. I don't. The one thing he loved my mom. My mom actually divorced him after 24 years, and she went and started dating her old high school boyfriend, and they got married. Now, my dad wasn't an easy man to live with. He was a tough old nut, and you could see a rationale for why my mom would have left him, and she waited till all the kids were out of the house. Waited till 24 years, and none of the children were living at home anymore, so it didn't impact the family directly. But what I wanted to say is, even to the day he died, another 15 years, and during the marriage, my father was the most amazing example of how to treat women and how to never cheat, never have an affair, never think, never look sideways, anything. And I can honestly say, in my life, I've never once dallied in that direction. If I'm in a relationship, I will honor it just like my father did my mother, and my brother's the same way. So by example, that's one of the greatest things my dad ever gave us, was how to treat women. Yeah. Okay, brother, love ya. We'll see you monitoring tomorrow. And tomorrow, team, I'm going to switch off from here now, Derek, and say goodbye to everybody. Love you, brother.
Bye, everyone. Love you.
You guys can't agree with me more what a wonderful human being Derek is. And it's not a flash in the pan. I've been knowing Derek solidly for over 3 years. And if I could say he hasn't changed, I'd be lying. I'd say he's growing. I watch him grow. We grow together. Derek and I. Really, really good soul, and we're grateful to have him here today. And thank you guys for spending all of this time. We ran way long, but how could you not when you're getting to hang out with Derek, right? So tomorrow we'll get another co-host for next Wednesday, and we'll just continue to teach each other and grow together. Sound good? Sounds really good. Let me scroll you out of here, okay? Thank you, Herbie and Jesus Christ in Australia, and Cleany and Sammy P, and Sue Little, and Mike Baraball and Headbuster, that's HB, Much Love Music and Oreo, and Justin LaFlower, Jesus Christ and Mr. Marmars, Headbuster, Aaron, Billy D, Cyber Jolie, Mike Baraball, Jesus Christ, Anthony Hunt, Must Love Kimberly, what a great episode. Cleany and Nick Charles and Billy D and Michael Patterson, truly real human. Mr. Marmars, Derek Anderson, there he is. There's Mike Derrick. Emily, good job being here. Jesus and HB and Sandman, nice to see you. Jesus Christ and Zozo LSD. Laura, have a divine day. Kimberly, Joe D's, Paige, and Mr. Phillips, and Sue Little, Mike Barball, Emily Cleany, Nick, Michael Patterson, what a great day. Derek, there he is. I love that guy. Joe D's, Jesus Christ, Emily Notorious, Cat Meowzilla, Pops, peace, love, kindness. You better believe it. See you guys tomorrow.